The Blackpool Combat Club make the CMLL pay the price.
Also, who's Adam Copeland's next hurdle in his quest for Christian Cage?
And was Orange Cassidy able to hold off Ishii? All that and more in this week's episode of Grapple-Sauce. Hit it, Dave.
Hey, welcome to the show. Daver here.
Hey, this guy's Chad.
And Chandler's back as well. What a week of sports entertainment we've had. How you doing, Dave?
Oh man, I'm doing incredible, dude. Collision had an appearance of two of the hottest tag teams straight out of a time machine from the 80s.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. Peak. My boys, Midnight Heat, they made it. Step 1, they're part of a brawl. Step 2, first AEW World Champions. All right, not tag team champions. Let me pitch something to you. This is early on. Who remembers the Layla Michelle McCool dual women's championship run?
Ooh, okay.
They had, I've only seen pictures of it. It's the funniest thing. I'm going to draw it. They had a belt and it was like comically split down the middle. So it was basically like this. So imagine the AEW World Championship like this.
All right.
That's how you do it with Midnight Heat. Book it, Tony. I know you watch us. Book it.
Oh, wow. So Midnight Heat has two fans that I know about.
Tony Condon.
Yeah, and we got to see the Outrunners. They are the kind of the token handicap match losers, I guess.
What are you doing with my boys? What are you doing?
It was the Righteous. Now it's the Outrunners. You know, everyone's got to pay their price, but it'll be the Outrunners day soon. Trust me.
Yeah, Hook did it, and Brian Cage said, "Hold my beer." Fun stuff. Yeah, really enjoyed Collision. Yeah, they were in Vegas. Pretty cool. Pretty hot crowd. Not as hot as Dynamite, I don't feel. They didn't have that passion, but they were into it.
That was a pretty stacked Dynamite, though. Like, hard not to be a monster crowd for that.
Yeah. I guess I'll get into the first match here. We're carrying on this CMLL invasion angle. John Moxley.
There's also very big news to come out of this segment, but I'll reveal that in a later bit because I think it came out. Funny enough, it came out during Picture in Picture, but it's very big news. So stay tuned, but continue.
John Moxley, Claudio versus Star Jr. and Esfinge.
It's Esfinge. Yeah.
Esfinge.
I was saying it, but I forgot the G is silent in Spanish, so it's Esfinge.
Huh, I learned a thing.
I will say it didn't have that feel of the other matches we've been getting. This is, I think, maybe our first real look at these two guys on Collision or Dynamite. Yeah, they were good, but yeah, they didn't quite have. They didn't bring it like Hechicero and
Volador Jr.
Yeah, Volador Jr. But yeah, it was good. Star Jr. got Moxley in a submission, and Claudio just nonchalantly walked up and broke up the pin. He wasn't having it at all. We got a giant swing on Esfinge. Star Jr. does a Hurricane Rana arm drag combo to Claudio and Moxley. Esfinge monkey flips Moxley and Claudio. Claudio Moxley do a gorilla press cutter combo to Star Jr. We get a cover, but it's broke up by Esfinge. Moxley does hammer and anvil elbows to Star Junior into an armbar for the win. Yeah, no one's gonna not tap out to that armbar. Moxley got on the mic. He calls out every wrestler around the world. Says step up or get stepped on. At that point, FTR come out. Their music hits. They get in Moxley and Claudio's face. Moxley slaps Dax Harwood, and they get in a huge brawl. We got a bunch of undercard people coming out, security. We got Midnight Heat. Oh, I love it. Yeah, they took some bumps too. Like they were getting it. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. The only thing is, like, I'm not kind of getting the motivation uh to this. No one said anything. I guess we'll find out on Dynamite.
It's a bunch of top guys, and they gotta be top guys, you know? Who's the bigger man?
Um
But yeah, this match wasn't much for me. I was blown away by especially Hechicero and Volador Jr. on Dynamite. Like those two, whatever it is, they have it. They could be top of any promotion in the world. They could run WWE, they could run AEW. Like they're fantastic. These guys, they were talented, but just it wasn't as good. There wasn't as much collision, much heat. But the big news that they revealed during Picture-in-Picture, Nigel McGuinness called the BCC the Three Musketeers. So Wheeler Yuta's out of BCC. Did anyone know that happened?
No, that was definitely a quiet pull if that happened.
I paused my Collision twice because I looked it up once while it was bugging me. Because I was like, is he gone? Is he hurt? Did they kick him off on a Ring of Honor show? But no, he's just not there anymore. So, yeah.
Weird. Maybe he never existed in the first place.
I guess. What if he just turns up with the best friends one day and he's like, yeah, we never left. I don't know what you're talking about.
Guys, I had the weirdest dream.
That should be how they do it. Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, I wanted to bring up, I was talking to Chad before we went on the air. Moxley is on every men's division in the rankings.
Really? Even the trios one?
It just says BCC.
So is he okay? I'm kind of getting annoyed at these rankings already, and it's for one reason and one reason only, okay? So when Daniel Garcia came out and they were hyping it up, they were like, Daniel Garcia and FTR have had 4 straight wins in the rankings, or 4 straight wins since the start of the year. That's why they're 4th in the ranking. And I was like, wait, what? All it took for Swerve and Hangman and Adam Copeland to be 1, 2, and 3 is they won 4 matches. So, and I guess I don't know the rankings off the top of my head, but what has number 1 done? What has number 2 done? What has number 3 done?
So they don't say it. How do you feel about this, Chad? I feel like they factor in star power. There's some sort of hidden equation. Like the big names are always
oh yeah, no, that makes no sense though. That's not a quantifiable thing. That's not scientific.
But
I don't like it.
Well, look, and I'm not saying anything degrading of her because I love her, but Sky Blue is 3rd in the women's.
Ooh, yeah. She hadn't done anything in a hot minute.
Yeah. So I think I'm a little speak out of line here. I think they were like, let's bring back the rankings. Yeah, because they were thinking about the men's and it's been working really well because it's working for Hook, working for Copeland, working for Swerve and Hangman. But then everything else, they were like, oh, I guess we got to do that too. So I hate to agree with Dave here on that, and that star power pays, or I think it's not star power. Maybe it's
the power rankings
weight of wins, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Swerve and Hangman, they beat Jeff Hardy. He was a former world champion. That means something. So that I can kind of see. And like past accolades are kind of factored in, which is by like Hook is doing well. So I'm not against them. I'm just saying, at least with the trios division, I'm a little confused as to why the one that seems to be winning the most is only 4th. And FTR, they're world-renowned tag team champions.
Yeah.
Doesn't that factor into it? I know it's a different division, but and then they're not in
they're
the tag
number
team
1.
division.
Yeah, FTR Garcia number 1.
Oh,
Bullet
really?
Club, yeah. The new
Oh,
rankings came
They're
out.
1-0.
New rankings came out.
okay. Oof. Okay, we're good. We're good. Except for FTRC is dead because now they're doing the.
Yeah, they're split.
So, you know, of course, they'll bring in Danielson and Garcia. Like, oh, I'll do that. That'll be fun. But, anyways, we're kind of rambling. But it was a fine opener. CMLL invasion is already done for.
Yeah. It's gonna go. BCC will win all their matches, except for unless they have any in Mexico, and then the B team will take all the L's, and probably vice versa if they do anything in Mexico.
Then they can revive it around Forbidden Door time.
Yeah.
Or April time, because I was thinking maybe they just do a CMLL Forbidden Door type show. They call it like Lucha Mania or something.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Cool. After that, we get our boy Daniel Garcia in a solo bout versus Shane Taylor, which I heard actually signed a contract.
Cool.
Kind of quietly. We get Daddy Magic on commentary. I love it. He's great on commentary. He just sounds like he belongs. Like,
Yeah.
it's not awkward. He knows what to say. Yeah. Yeah, Garcia had a challenge ahead of him with a big guy like Taylor. Taylor was throwing haymakers. Garcia was ducking. Shane Taylor does Garcia's dance, then chops Garcia really loudly. Garcia gets fired up and gives Shane Taylor a dragon screw. Taylor misses a big leg drop on the apron. Garcia focuses on Taylor's knee, and at one point, Taylor hits a power bomb. Then a knockout punch covers for a 2 count, and Garcia ends up winning with a knee bar. So we get an arm bar and a knee bar so far.
Very technical show, especially with that technical brilliance that was the Tony Storm match. So
Yeah.
lots of technical prowess.
Do you ever think they have a secret theme when they do like there's
I've
3
been
Canadian
saying that.
Destroyers? Like,
Yeah.
Like Tony
do.
Khan is like, if you can factor in this move into your show, I'll give you $50 more on your paycheck. And so it just changes every day. It's like, okay, if you can sneak a Canadian Destroyer in, there's $50. If you can sneak in a technician, there's $50. Because there's times where it's like, geez, every match on this show has a deadlift German. And they're like, geez, every match on this show has a moonsault.
Yeah, it's like
Or
the
a
sheer drop
superplex.
brainbuster was for the move of the day for a minute.
Yeah, I love that. That's totally a thing. We got you, Tony. We got you figured out, bud.
I honestly don't mind it. It's kind of fun. Like there's a like nice little subtle throughout the entire show. It's not even important, but it's like, oh hey, everyone's doing this. Maybe it's just a lot of people just like to do those moves, but I don't know. But this match, it was fun. Looking at it, was probably like my 4th favorite match on the card because this was a really good collision. But
True.
Yeah, I loved it when Shane Taylor started doing the dance and Nigel McGuinness went, Kevin Kelly, put those dollar bills away. So, of course, Nigel McGuinness is great. And then there was a bit where, like, because I do believe them when they talk about Shane Taylor and they're like, oh, he's a boxer. Like, he just knocked out Garcia. And I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
They're just pinning him. So,
yeah, that punch was dope.
Love the Garcia kick out. But yeah, it was a fun end and fun match.
Yeah. I liked the story being told, Garcia targeting the leg, because what else are you going to do against that dude? He's massive and very athletic. Yeah, it was a good story, great finish. I like the finish. I'm always a fan of submissions as a finisher. Speaking of which, thinking of doing another top 5 video on favorite finishers. So, what's
Ooh.
yours? Put it in the comments. Dave, you got a favorite?
Yeah, Scorpion Deathlock.
Nice, of course. Chandler, what about you?
Oh, you can't just throw this on me. This is serious because it's not. I hate to say it. It's not like Cody Rhodes finishers because they're not great. Like I love them, but there's a reason
Yeah.
he hits 3 crossroads. I love a good ankle lock. I wish they just ended matches more. Like I wish there was a rule in wrestling where if you grapevine, you tap out, and if you're not tapping out, you don't grapevine. But I'm gonna go with the ankle lock. I love a good
Alright.
ankle lock.
Cool.
What about you, Chad?
I like anything that you can hit on anybody. I've always been a fan of like the RKO for submissions. I know it's not one you can really hit on everybody, but I just think it looks cool. The cattle mutilation's kind of dope.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Um,
Oh wait,
that
I
should
have
be
a
a
new
good.
one. A Gunther chop. Anything
True.
Gunther does, I
Yeah.
believe it. That's your
Yeah.
number one.
He'd hit me with
Gunther.
anything once, and I just tap. Whatever's near
number-
me, I'm tapping on
Your
it.
number one is Gunther.
Cool. Yeah, good match. I'm starting to enjoy Shane Taylor, and by proxy, Lee Moriarty a little bit. Like I don't hate it. I think Lee Moriarty is going to turn on Taylor. Uh, Remember that little sly look he was giving him a few weeks ago? Like, oh, you lost. Like, dude.
Yeah, they're not really focusing on that, but I like them together. I like them as a tag team. I think it's a loaded roster right now, but if you ever got to a point where you were pushing Lee Moriarty, you should keep Shane Taylor as his mouthpiece because he's an entertaining guy. He's an entertaining heel, and he'd be good. And then when you do want to do the split, that's when it's a big old babyface run for Lee, hopefully.
Yeah, cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it unfold. Unfortunately, any drama between the two will probably happen on Rampage.
Hey, Ring of Honor needs to air some TV time, so it could be on there too.
Yep.
Dude, I am chopping at the bit for them to get whatever streaming content deal, and I'm gonna go back in that ROH catalog and go to town. It should be a fun time. I think it'll happen in 2025.
I
We'll
hope.
get full access.
Yeah, I don't like having to watch AEW on a Fight TV. I wish I could just watch it like on Peacock or Netflix or Hulu.
Cool. Yeah. Next up after that, we get a little recap of Sting and Darby winning the tag titles, and then the Bucks jumping them covered in blood after that. Uh, that kind of segued into Lexi Nair backstage with Eddie Kingston. He says what the Young Bucks did was disgusting. Uh, says they stole Sting and Darby's thunder, just like Danielson did to Brian Keith. Uh, Eddie ends up challenging Danielson to a match at Revolution, with the stipulation that Danielson has to shake Eddie's hand, because he knows that would be pretty embarrassing to Danielson. Uh, Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that match. Let's see. Wonder how many times they've faced each other in AEW. This could be the third time.
Because it
What do you
was
think,
twice in
Chad?
the.
Yeah. Yep. Third that I can think of.
Did they have a match before the CC?
I kind of remember them saying it was the first time that
Yeah.
Danielson and Kingston fought. It's been so long, but I feel like they were. That's why. When I think of the Continental Classic, I think about like my favorite matches, the ones that had the biggest feel. I'll always think about Swerve and Mox, and I always think about the first Kingston and Danielson because those two felt like really big matches.
Yeah.
Like holy
Mhm.
crap, we're getting this on TV, and then they both delivered. So yeah, I would say I'd be confident in saying it was their first. But is it bad I want Danielson to win?
Nah. He needs a few more good wins on his way out.
I don't want to watch him eat humble pie. I want him to be a little pissant, and that makes Nigel even better because he's like, "Oh, we gotta watch this fake champion." Oh, it'd be great.
Yeah, the king of the clams, as he got called.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Uh cool. Yeah. Looking forward to that. Yeah, we're getting a pay-per-view kind of forming, huh? Uh
Yeah.
couple things popping up here that we know for sure, a couple we don't. But yeah, after that, we get Brian Cage versus the best tag team from 1989, the Outrunners.
You're just lucky. Midnight Heat's from 1983, bro. You're just lucky.
Wait, maybe that'll be the next big faction.
Just
Outrunners and Midnight Heat.
Sting, don't retire. We need you.
He could be their
Come back.
mouthpiece, but
Come
only if
back.
it comes back as Surfer Sting.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh. I'm getting way too into this. This will never happen, but that'll be so funny. All these, I hate to say it, vaguely bland 80s wrestlers just kind of like clobbering each other. I want that so bad.
Oh yeah, good stuff. Oh yeah, we got Dasha with a little redemption. She nailed it. Turbo Floyd, Truth Magnum. Mwah. Good
Let's
job,
go,
Dasha.
Dasha. Let's
Proud
go,
of you, girl.
Dasha. Just bring Wardlow
Uh,
out. Mr. Wardlow.
yep.
Mr. Mayhem. Mr. Wardlow Mayhem.
Oh, poor girl. We're not gonna let that go, are we?
No, we're too mean. She's too nice, but this match
Yeah,
happened, didn't it?
it happened. Cage won very easily. I got written down here, sign the Outrunners.
They're not signed? They're not like Ring of
uh,
Honor guys?
I don't think. I
Yeah,
don't think.
sign them.
I mean, I'm sure they're like, a per appearance. That used to be what they call the dark contract.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's like different levels they have. But yeah, after the match, the Golden Knights mascot wanted to dance with Nana. They do, but Cage attacked him. Hook came out and fought Cage. Yeah. You think we're gonna get that match? Are they gonna? Okay, are we gonna get that match? One and two. Are they gonna finally give Hook a non-0 hour pre-show
I was gonna
match?
say it'll be on the 0 hour.
No, I was just
Probably.
about to say you got to put something on the 0 hour, Dave. Come on.
Wheeler Yuta is the 0 hour king.
He's not. He doesn't exist. There never was a
Yeah.
Wheeler Yuta. Move on.
Yeah.
Maybe he got named in the allegations.
That I mean,
Ooh.
I don't know how, but
Him
that
and
is
Vince were going
that's
in
a
that
lot.
room and
It's a lot more logical than anything I could find because I could find nothing. I found nothing. All I found was like the most recent thing about Wheeler Yuta at all posted on the internet was one Reddit thread 7 months ago. And it was like, I really like Wheeler Yuta in the BCC. And that was it. So,
Arn. Ooh.
oof. I don't think he's there, but I really I actually quite liked the little bit with the mascot. I thought it was silly and cute. And I was just like, why do the Outrunners have this mascot? And then I found out it was for the hockey team or whatever. And he did the little Nana dance. It was fun.
Did any of you think that was Hook in there?
I totally did. Yeah, I was like, oh, who's coming out? Who's coming
I
out?
was like, please tell me Hook is doing all this goofy stuff. And he takes that off and he's just like,
I would just, he takes it off. He's dead faced and just clobbers
Yeah.
Brian Cage. That would have been good.
That would have been
That's
that,
what I
that would have been
wanted.
as good as Hangman Page in the Saint Puff costume.
Yep. That's what I wanted. But yeah, we'll get that match eventually, hopefully not on 0 hour. But yeah, after that, we got Lexi Nair with Ishii, Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett. Matt Taven brings up that he used to be in the Chaos faction with Ishii. He got hurt. They never called him back. Roderick Strong says if Ishii wins, he's going to beat him for the title. He's been waiting 8 years for a rematch. Yeah, I I kind of would like to see that match at some point. Uh, not no title involved, but yeah, that should be good. Um, yeah, what do y'all think of Roderick and the whole lackluster storyline we have here?
You first?
At least we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. At least they finally did something in the main event, but they still looked pretty cowardly. But it was like, it's slim. It's like, oh, they did something, but I'm still kind of meh. But I hate to say it. So I've been kind of not the biggest fan of Orange Cassidy in his current run, but I'll definitely say this main event was fantastic, and it was like, well, okay, if you could have just been doing that, why weren't you doing that? But whatever, I don't care. So now I'm like, well, now I want Cassidy to retain because I'm, at least if I'm looking at the two here, Roderick has been sucking for 2 months, whereas at least Cassidy can pull out a banger and restore my faith in him and go, oh, he is still great and he can still have good matches. He just hasn't been booked well. So this isn't like, from someone who was so into Roddy, it's crazy how much I'm just like,
Right? Yeah, my one note for that segment was meh, all the heat is gone. Just
he even went,
I watched it and just shrugged. Meh.
He even went Ishii, and I wrote that down, but I was like, this is dead. Like, it's kind of dead in the water for right now.
Yeah. You guys think they can bring it back when
of
everybody's all
course.
healthy?
Yeah, if they have a banger at the pay-per-view that can bring it back, that can make me appreciate it. But if, Roderick wins like a total loser, then I don't know. I'm not really interested in that, but maybe.
Never say never.
Yeah, never say never.
Oh, cool. After that, we get a Adam Copeland segment. Like he tells Nigel to shut up right off the bat.
A little
'Cause
little rude. Come on, he's Nigel just doing his job.
dude, Copeland's definitely a in-betweener. Like I
Yeah.
like how Nigel points out that too, like that. Well, he really leans into that he's actually a heel, but
Yeah.
Nigel will point that out. Yeah, good stuff. Let's see. He warns Nicholas and Matthew Jackson for what they did to Sting and Darby. He wants the TNT Championship. Uh, Garcia's music hits. He comes to the ring. He says Copeland is not the only one with wins and not the only one who deserves a shot at the TNT title. He said he might lose the big one, have to go to the back of the line, but he will fight a million times to get AEW gold. Adam Copeland proposes on Dynamite. They wrestle to see who faces Christian. Copeland says he's going to beat Garcia's ass next week for threatening to take food from his family's table. Yeah, that should be a great match. I don't like how they're not calling it the Cope Open anymore. They didn't even mention that.
He's not doing it anymore, which I'll talk about this whole promo because I actually liked this whole segment, but I don't like how they were like, guys, the Cope Open was great the whole time. And I was like, no. It was about to get great. We were there.
Yeah.
And then you stopped it.
Yeah,
So
it was just gathering the heat that I was like, oh, we've had one really good match. What happened?
Because you do the guy no one cares about, up and coming guy people kind of know, guy in a trios where he's not a great singles guy, but he's pretty dang good, and then a classic veteran, which is great to beat. And then you build up to like, oh, I don't know, Jeff Hardy. That'd be a fun, nostalgic match and could kind of go into this Hardy resurgence we're on. And I'm sure that match would be okay. But no, it's like it's over. And so I think they're setting up if/when he wins the TNT title, he'll be able to do Cope Opens like John Cena had his US title open challenge.
That makes sense.
But I hate to say it, if I'm booking here, let me book this thing for a little bit, right? I don't know how I would do it, but I would make it another triple threat, but make this one so that it's different from the main event, an elimination triple threat. And what you do, you get Christian out first. So you're guaranteed a new title, and I'd give it to Garcia.
Yeah.
I know that's bold, but I think that would work. And I would quite like it, but if this is building to just Copeland and Christian again, I'm still fine with that. But that would be a little bit more interesting than just seeing Copeland and Christian again at a pay-per-view. You could throw in a little bit of spice, and then Garcia wins, and they could have like one more singles match as like a blow-off, and that's when they get together and they become friends. Yeah. Potentially. This is the way to get the TNT title completely out of this conversation and Christian and Copeland together.
Yeah. And as much as I've loved Christian having it, I think it's time for him to not. Like, I feel like he's kind of had all the stories he's going to have with it. So it's time for somebody to finally take it off of him.
I think what I would book if I was Mr. Khan, I hate to say this, I think the Bucks winning the titles does make the most sense if it ends with Edge and Christian beating them, because that's two legends, old timers. That's like, they're not like Jericho or Hardy where we actually have problems with them. They're the good legends where they're doing well and having great matches, and that'd be a fun match. Young Bucks versus Edge and Christian. Come on.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I really did like, especially with the Eddie Kingston in this one too, how they were like, we're both disgusted by the Young Bucks. That segment wasn't working for me, but that doesn't matter. I really like how they were selling it. I like how it was. I like how commentary selling it, where it was like they'll never recover their careers. I really like it, and I like how further on in the show, they're not the Young Bucks. They're the AEW EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson's. Like, I think I'm starting to like this.
Yeah, they're turning the corner with it. Like I said, it was like a little slow to start, but it all built to this moment. So now it all kind of makes sense, which is sort of how they tell their stories anyways. Like, I feel like every good elite storyline has always started off with like, okay, where are they going? And then
and that way, because I think I was thinking about this right before we started, but like, how do you put Kenny Omega in this? Whenever he comes back, whenever that might be, but like, you can't just have him ignore it because they're his best friends. They're all EVPs. But do you have him join in on the debauchery?
This is where we make Tony Khan an on-screen authority figure.
No!
But a face figure instead of the traditional heel.
Isn't that what he already is? He's just behind the scenes.
But yeah, be what he is now, but just push it out there, like amplify it.
We saw him talk about big business. I mean, I love Tony Khan. I don't think he's there yet.
No,
I don't think he's there yet.
Dude, if he took some like acting classes,
what does he have time? He's booking 4 shows and pay-per-views.
Yeah, and some other sports teams.
Football team and a football team.
We're talking about this guy getting acting lessons. He won't hire a booker, so no.
Yeah, true. Oh man. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I guess would we leave off at Adam Copeland segment? Yeah. Oh yeah, well, they announced the match officially for Dynamite also a little later on, I believe. Cool. Yeah. After that, we get Renee Paquette backstage with Stokely Hathaway, Chris Statlander, and Willow Nightingale. Apparently, that's a Rampage storyline.
Because they were setting it up. I remember it on Dynamite Homecoming because there was the big women's match and Stokely was in the crowd and he had the
Yeah.
sign. So they were setting that up a long time ago. And then they just took them off TV and now they're back. They're like, oh, they're together now and they're doing great, guys. You haven't seen them, but trust us, they're doing great.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'm okay with them brewing a story maybe on Rampage, and then when it's, the timer goes off, you know, give it to us and just give us a little bit of, you know, backstory, and I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm willing to accept that delivery.
The one thing I would say to counteract that is, except for one episode of Dynamite, because I was going out of town, I've watched every single Dynamite Collision so far this year. Unless it was on that one, I would have appreciated something like the week the Rampage that it happened on the Dynamite or the Collision. They go, look at what you missed on Rampage. Chris Statlander finally
Ooh.
agreed to Stokely Hathaway, because that is the story development. It's
Yeah.
not a big story development, but it's something that we missed. And, you could argue that, oh, you got to watch Rampage. Well, there's some people that genuinely just can't watch Rampage. I just choose not to, but it would have been nice just to throw in a little 30-second, like, here's what you missed on Rampage. They're together. And then you don't have to have them on TV doing matches, but it would have built to this, I guess.
Could AEW benefit from kind of a control center segment or show that would have that kind of stuff on it that people could just catch for 5-10 minutes out of their day on YouTube, and
Yeah,
they used
WW
to kind of have
us.
yeah.
WWE does do top 10 highlights of the week. And so I don't watch them anymore, but when I did, they would go to NXT, Raw, SmackDown, and I'm sure if something big happened on Main Event or Superstars, they'd put it on there too. So maybe on the AEW YouTube channel, they have a top 10 things of the week, and something like that would be a nice 9 or 8. Like, you could throw it on there.
Yeah. So oh yeah, let's see. Stokely puts over Statlander and Willow. They bring up Sky Blue. Willow wants to fight Sky, and Stokely has been blocked from Tony Khan's phone. uh and then I think we get maybe a little later on, they actually booked the match with Willow and Sky Blue. Uh cool, yeah. At least they have a third women's story kind of floating in the ether.
Yeah, but I kind of point this in that Jericho Don Callis feud where it's it kind of never ends. It's just been off and on since whenever Sky Blue first turned. And so, yeah, I'm hyped for it. I'm excited, but could we have something else in between anywhere?
Yeah, anyway. After that we get Brody King versus Mark Briscoe. Pretty fun match, hard hitting, violent, everything you would imagine. Let's see, at one point Brody King hit a running cannonball pretty early in the match, actually. Mark Briscoe jumps off a chair out of the ring on Brody onto the floor. Uh, the ref won't let Briscoe set up a table. Uh, Mark Briscoe used a little redneck kung fu, uh, slows down Brody King for a bit. Mark Briscoe hit a twisting moonsault on King on the outside. Brody King hit a big lariat, covers Mark Briscoe for a 2 count. Mark Briscoe hit a Death Valley driver on Brody King, goes to the top turnbuckle to try to hit the froggy bow, but Brody King pushes Briscoe off the top turnbuckle onto the half set up table that the ref stopped Briscoe from setting up earlier. Brody King hit the Gonzo bomb for the win. After that, Brody King holds up Mark Briscoe while Julia Hart stabs him in the head with a metal spike. There's just gushing blood everywhere. They had to actually get a towel and like I don't think we can show this.
Oh, they
Uh,
did. They were like, look, there he is. Look at all the blood.
so did he blade or did she mess up?
I don't know. Maybe she just struck him real good. Maybe he bladed and like kind of just nicked a little too deep.
Yeah, or maybe he's like, you know what? Give it to me the hard way. Like that FTR match, like those dudes ain't afraid to bleed.
Dude, Julia Hart looks like more of a threat than any Devil Dumpling
Yeah, and most
in
of
the
the
whole
House of
group.
Black, really.
Like
She
that
hasn't-
elevated her in my mind.
Yeah, she hasn't been around. Like, I was kind of hoping when she won the title that she would kind of become the center of the House of Black because she's the only one with the title, and that kind of would make sense. But it's the opposite. She's been on the show way less, and she'll be there to do like a spooky bell ring or to spit some mist into someone's face, but she hasn't really been doing much. And you know, there's been 2 women's matches on a lot of these collisions lately to the point where I don't bother keeping track of, oh, this is the 4th collision where they did it or whatever. Like, because it's like, oh, it's just kind of a thing now. But none of them have had anything to do with the TBS title, which is kind of sad because, like, don't get me wrong, I love the Tony Storm Deonna Purrazzo build right now, but there's another women's title that doesn't have anything.
True.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully on Dynamite we'll get maybe Thunder Rosa challenging or having a match and Julia interferes or something like that to kind of spur that on.
Maybe Serena D, but this match was really good. Especially, I think my favorite part, that Death Valley driver that you were talking about, it was so effortless. Like every single time I watch a Mark Briscoe match, I like him more because I'm like, I didn't know he was so strong. But that was like a John Cena pickup where it's like, oh, you're nothing. Oh, poop, like you're a little cruiserweight, but that's Brody King. So that was great. The table spot was great. And this made me just want to watch Mox versus King soon.
Oh, hell yeah. That'd be a good one.
Battle of the Lariats, just who can knock the other man off their feet. But yeah, fun. And it was, are they telling the story again of who's going to save so-and-so from the House of Black? Is that where we're going with this?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Are we gonna get a team up with the Hardys?
Is that the end game for this? You know, is that where we want to go? What about like?
I mean, if they break the Hardys, cool.
What about Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal? Okay, there is a little precedence there. Turn Jeff Jarrett face. Come on.
Yeah, the people are ready to cheer Jeff Jarrett.
I'm ready to see Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, man, love Jeff Jarrett. Get him on my TV immediately, Tony. Book it, Tony.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, after that we get a Brian Keith promo. Pretty cool. He got signed last Dynamite. He says he wants big matches with all the stars. Whether you're good, bad, ugly, you better be ready to pay up, sucker. And he's allowed to say that because he trained with Booker T.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a fun little promo, and I liked how he explained his gimmick, and he was like, there's a bounty on your head, and I'll come for it. The only thing I would change, and this would elevate Brian Keith a little bit, talk about the Young Bucks again, because again, it would kind of hammer it in more like this is real bad, and it would put Brian Keith on that same level of Adam Copeland and Eddie Kingston, where it's like, here's all these AEW guys. What do you think about what's going on with the Young Bucks, you know? And he could easily have just gone like, I'm the bounty hunter, and you 2 boys have got bounties on your head. Like something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like how they're doing that with the Bucks, so that would be a good another way to tie it in.
That's the only thing I would change about it, but it was a fine little promo.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. I'm into Brian Keith. I'm really happy for him. I think that's a really, really good a good investment that Tony Khan made with him. Uh, yeah, I'm looking forward to the future.
Oh yeah,
Let's
Eddie
see.
Kingston called him a kid, and I looked up his age. Any guesses?
38.
38.
Little
Yeah.
younger, 31.
Oh, okay.
But
I
I
mean,
was
yeah.
like, okay, let's stretching it a little bit. I know the age of the modern wrestlers getting older because hospitals and health are so much better, but you're pushing it a little bit there, Kingston.
He did. I forgot he called him kid. Cool. Yeah. After that, we get second women's match. Or no,
First,
First of
first
two.
women's match. Yeah, first women's match. Deanna Purrazzo versus Kiera Hogan. Yeah, Deanna just look aggressive, in control. I like Kiera Hogan went for a hip attack to Deanna, and I like Tony Schiavone made a comment that she needs to get used to that.
Yeah.
You know, having a match with Tony Storm. Deanna goes after uh, her arm, Kiera Hogan's arm, aggressively, dominantly. Uh, Deanna gets Kiera Hogan in the Venus de Milo and makes her tap. We get a strong, clean win. Yeah, looking great. On Deanna's uh, way back up the ramp, Tony Storm pulled a Brian Danielson.
I had that
and
in my
in,
note. I said she does the clam digger.
yeah, yeah.
Ooh, is that what we're calling it now?
She pulls a clam digger.
Uh, but yeah, before we get into that match, Chandler, what do you think about the Kiera Hogan match?
It was fine. I haven't heard a crowd that silent since World's End. But Deanna Purrazzo looks good, and I like how she's winning with this tap out. Because I literally wrote in my notes, like, this is the storytelling, and I believe it. How's Tony going to break that? How's Tony going to get out? Like, that's kind of what they're selling is
Yeah.
Deanna Purrazzo is really, really good at these submissions, and how can Tony Storm overcome that? The big baby face that she is. So, did what it needed to do. How'd you feel, Chad?
Same. I did not have a lot of notes for this. Like literally, it's like good technical wrestling. I love her submission. Kind of predictable.
The next match was a lot better. I thought it was a really good showing for Queen
Yeah.
Amanada, and Tony Storm is always entertaining. So the
Yeah,
next match,
I hear she got a contract. So we hopefully we'll see that graphic soon. Ooh, the
Really?
Queen.
Good. I got written here, sign Amanada. Cool. Yeah, Tony interrupted Deanna's exit on her way to the ring. Let's see. Amanada does her little arm, wipes her butt on the arm thing. I like that she does that every match. Tony does another Luthez press. Amanada hits a big lariat to Tony, but she can't cover. Tony Storm hits a snap DDT to Queen Amanada, covers for a 2 count. Queen Amanada hits a air raid crash to Tony Storm, covers for 2. Queen Amanada misses a hip attack. Tony Storm hits her with one of her own, and she does her Storm Zero finisher and wins. Great match. But even better, I liked the promo. Black and white laying on the in the middle of the ring.
That
Like,
was
come
really
on.
cool.
Like in the way they like the camera angle on it, beautiful. Uh yeah, Tony Storm talks about her new film debuting on Dyna how'd she say it?
Dynamity. like Calamity, Dynamity.
Okay.
Awesome. She says something about Deanna in pain, like a wart on her bum hole. Yeah, good stuff. Good match, good promo. Yep, Tony can do no wrong in my mind right now.
Yeah, she's been excellent. I'm not ready for her to lose that title. Queen Aminata looked great. I was kind of like hoping in my head, like, what if Queen Aminata won this match? Like, what would that mean for the rankings, right? Someone who, at least to my knowledge, isn't signed with AEW, just pinned your world's champion. Does she shoot up the rankings? But she's losing to a lot of people on that ranking. So that would be like an interesting question. But this is still the right choice because you probably don't want to pin your champion going into a pay-per-view.
True.
But yeah, I loved how Nigel McGuinness gave a standing ovation when Toni Storm came out and gave a standing ovation as soon as she won. I loved how Toni Storm immediately started it off with Tony Schiavone, stop looking at me like that. And then Kevin Kelly just like gets a little jab like dirty boy. I don't know why it was so funny to me, and just the where she was like, that was an utmost technical show of brilliance. So that's why earlier I was like, yeah, technicality up and down the card here. So this was lots of fun, just a little poo housey match, but fun.
Yeah, it was real fun. Yeah, like I said, I can't remember where I read it, but I hope it was true, and I hope we get that Queen Amidala has the is all elite. And somebody got away with saying a word on my bum hole in the middle of a promo. That was freaking hilarious.
Dustin Rhodes did an interview and he compared what Tony Storm is doing right now with what they were breaking new ground with Gold Dust. Like when he began, I was like, wow, yeah, that's kind of a cool comparison. With her like overt like innuendo and all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the gimmick and her old lingo is helping her get away with a lot.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's working.
Yeah, I agree. Looks like we're already at our main event of the night. International Championship match. Orange Cassidy versus Tomohiro Ishii. Yeah, I'm really glad we get the privilege of watching Japanese wrestlers from another promotion that I have never got to see before. Well, I mean, I've seen him, but in general, like the exposure I'm getting to New Japan and the talent from around the world, yeah, love it. I really like to early on in the match, Orange Cassidy gets knocked out of the ring, and the camera picked it up really well. He's just going, "Oh my god, oh my god."
Like it was still in his perfect subtle like character where he's like not that bothered, but he's like, oh my god, like this is serious. Like I might have overstepped here.
But yeah, let's see. Orange Cassidy knocks down Ishii after quite a struggle. Uh, Orange Cassidy gets chopped by Ishii over and over and over. Let's see. Uh, oh yeah, during commercial break we had a Simply Orange juice commercial. I wrote down. Uh, we get a nice twisting DDT to Ishii. Orange Cassidy topes Ishii on the outside. Orange Cassidy hit another spinning DDT, covers for two. Orange Cassidy hit a avalanche DDT, covers for two. Ishii gets Orange Cassidy up in the turnbuckle and does a delayed avalanche vertical suplex, covers for two. Orange Cassidy begs Ishii to chop him and keep hitting him. He just says, come on, come on. Orange Cassidy gets fired up, but then collapses immediately. There was a awesome series of near falls to Ishii. Orange just couldn't get him down. Orange Cassidy hits an orange punch, then a beach break, covers for 2.99. The crowd thought he had that. I thought he had it. Uh, Orange hits another orange punch, then a roll up for a 3 count. Wow, what a great match. Yeah, Orange Cassidy, I have it written down here. He's definitely the workhorse, putting in the work, man.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah. Has he
loved it.
become AEW's Bret Hart?
Yeah. Hopefully not. Let's just say hopefully not.
He just goes to the next show. WWE. Could you imagine that gimmick in the Fed? Would it work? Probably. Bigger gimmicks like that tend to work. But this match, it was a good match. This was my first ever Ishii singles match because I've only ever seen him in like multi-man matches, so I didn't really know what to expect because to me he was the guy who goes in and chops, and that was about it. So I was just kind of like, oh, is he just gonna chop? But no, this match was fantastic. I loved every bit of it. I thought he was convincing, and like again, I started this match like, oh, Ishii should win, but by the end of it, I was biting on every near fall, and I was very happy that Orange Cassidy retained. Basically, you kind of said all the good spots, the surge up to him falling over, that was pretty funny. I love how, Orange Cassidy was giving him a bunch of elbows, and Ishii basically pushed him into the opposite corner, and he just gave one more lazy elbow, and the crowd went, oh, and then like he chopped him out of his soul. And they went, oh, I just loved the little crowd interaction with that. So, yeah, really fun match. Exactly what I would want to see out of the international title. I'm glad it was the main event.
Yeah, it was great fun. OC just has that ability. Like, just when I'm kind of always starting to kind of get a little soft on him, and then he has a match like this, and you're like, whoa. Yeah, great story. Yeah, you both kind of said all my thoughts. Like, Ishii's just like this bulldog of a dude, or pitbull, I guess. And yeah, like just so believable. And it's like, how the heck is OC gonna pull this off? And yeah, he didn't do the seatbelt though. It was just a regular like crucifix pin, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
That was yeah, the only way he could have done it, because there's no way Ishii was gonna fall for anything else.
Yeah. Good fun. All those false finishes at the end there, like had everyone going. Yeah, that's a great way to get the crowd, pumped. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm way into Orange Cassidy, way more than I was. Roderick Strong has no business even challenging for it.
What do you mean? He came out after the show and had his goons beat up Orange Cassidy. He couldn't even touch him, but he had his henchmen do it.
Yeah. They come out, they attack Orange, do a spike pile driver, but Ishii and Trent come to help. Yeah, man. Julia Hart looked like way more of a badass.
Right. And no real signs of the possible Trent turn there. I thought they could have teased that something more there if there is something brewing.
Or you just wouldn't have had him come out, because then Orange Cassidy would have been like, hey, I got beat up by the Kingdom, and Ishii came back to help. I know we're friends, but I'm a lot closer to you. So where were you, man? But I also kind of wrote down, because I was like, at least they did something, but it's still 3-on-2 guys, and one of them just wrestled a match. And the other's Trent. Like, come on. Beat him up. Like, stand tall at the end of your show for once. But no, they just scantered away. And at this point, they have to be chicken shit heels. But
yeah,
I don't think anyone wanted them to be chicken shit heels, because kayfabe set MJF out of the company.
Yeah, they should be ruling the roosts like everybody should be scared of them.
The Acclaimed and the Bullet Club Gold united to deal with them, but they were like, oh, they're so much of a nothing burger that never mind, we can just kind of have fun together. Like,
yeah, that happened. Yeah, they're I wanted it to work.
Yeah, the first promo was good, and I know Wardlow might be injured, but I'm still interested in Wardlow in this story, but everything else just isn't working for me right now.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, like, it was a good episode of Collision.
I'd say this was probably the least important episode, as in nothing was really set up except for here's what we'll do on Dynamite.
Yeah.
But it was a really good episode. Like, excellent matches.
Great wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. And they need to get back to that. That's what they're known for, man. Like putting on that great show, that great match. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for Revolution. I think that's going to be a banger of a pay-per-view.
Yeah. Do you kind of want to talk about maybe what we think the card could be looking like? I
Sure.
got written down here. The matches, I believe, will be on it. Okay, we got Swerve, Paige, and Joe.
That one's confirmed.
We got Sting Darby versus the Bucks, not confirmed.
But come on,
Yeah.
that's what is happening.
Kingston Danielson. Has Kingston officially
Kingston
accepted?
called him out.
Or Danielson accepted?
He would. He would.
He will.
It's one of those things where they wouldn't have Kingston announce it so brazenly in a promo and then have it not happen. So It's in that Young Bucks area where they haven't said it, but it's happening.
Tony Storm, Deanna, confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
I got question mark FTR BCC.
They don't put FTR on pay-per-views, so that's going to be the Collision through line. So I'm gonna disagree on that one. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I got question mark.
They're gonna throw in some like other matches that will go, why is that on the pay-per-view? Because that's how I felt about World's End, because FTR and House of Black have been built up like throughout the Continental Classic, and it made sense for it to be on the pay-per-view, but they were like, no, it's on the Collision after the pay-per-view.
Yeah. I've got Julia Hart versus Don't Know.
Serena Deeb would be my biggest guess right now.
Or Thunder Rosa.
I think Thunder. I got Roddy Orange Cassidy.
That one's confirmed. They've confirmed that Roddy's challenging for the international title, and it's more than likely that Orange Cassidy will have it until then.
Hook and Cage.
Nice 0 hour. That's the biggest build for a 0 hour match we've ever had.
We got Adam Copeland, Christian Cage.
Potentially Daniel Garcia in that mix.
I've got Jericho Ospreay.
I don't think that's happening anymore, because how can Jericho come back since that he tapped out to his own move? He's done for. Right? He's got to retire.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he'll Ospreay will come out and like, all right, which one of you bros is gonna fight me? And then Okada comes out.
Oh yeah, because I was gonna bring it up.
Because Okada just had his last match too. They both had him over the last week.
Well, the big news is that WWE fumbled again. They did not get Okada.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't want to go there.
Well, no, I can't really blame him, because if I were WWE, I'd do everything to get Okada right now. Like, I'd give him one of the biggest contracts. I don't think I'd give him the biggest contract, but I'd give him like Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins money. So like main event money. And I would say, I don't have the feud planned, but I'd be like, here's the feud that you're going to start. you're gonna challenge Gunther on the Raw after Mania, and you're gonna beat him. You're gonna beat his streak, and you're gonna start with the Intercontinental title, something like that. Whereas they were like, you'll get a WrestleMania moment, trademark. So, like, I don't really blame Okada for being like, well, I could go to AEW. Like, apparently they already have creative for him, which is great. So,
Dude, his wife won't have to move. He can wrestle in New Japan still.
yeah.
Like that's really the kicker, I feel, for most of these free agents. Like, wait a minute, you're gonna pay me more money than I've ever made, and I can go other places?
I can
Like,
go back to New Japan. I can go to AAA, CMLL. I can work whatever indie I could want. Like,
Impact.
Prestige.
so
Yeah.
prestige.
Hey,
Yeah.
we've gotten to see some pretty cool names on those Prestige shows.
We got to see the Prodigy. We got to see Sky Blue, Willow. We got to see
Leo Rush.
Rush. There was
me and Dave got to see Malachi Black.
Taya Valkyrie, Athena. Oh,
we're gonna get to see Zack
company.
Sabre Jr. No, I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be in the balcony so we can see it this time, because when they had the Bryan Danielson match, we were like, this is great, but we can't see it because it's all in the match.
You hear about the Danielson Sabre Jr. match that happened at whatever New Japan event that was?
Oh, they did another one?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah. Zach evened it up. Also not a submission. So neither of them have ever submitted each other, but they all
Thanks
have a
for
pinfall.
telling me, AEW. God, at least they mentioned the Okada match.
It happened on Sunday after Collision. So
thanks, AEW. God.
It didn't happen yet.
Oh, well, you can hype it. You can go, hey, Bryan Danielson's over across the pond. He's fighting Zack Sabre Jr. Remember Wrestle Dream? Am I the only one who does?
They don't really hype upcoming matches that their wrestlers are gonna be in. Like, they'll bring it up after the fact, or like, but they don't really hype that up. Like that, they got their own promotion to promote, I guess.
Little shouts out by commentary, like, oh, you might notice Bryan Danielson isn't here for this BCC match. Well, he's getting ready for Zack Sabre Jr. in New Japan. Like,
yeah. Cool. Yeah. Do you want to do your highs and lows?
Yeah, it's kind of hard because everything's like mid to good. There wasn't anything that was like exceptional, and there wasn't anything that was like awful.
Yeah, there were no botches, I'm glad about. My low is just the last couple minutes with the Dumpling Gang coming out.
Yeah.
And my high was Midnight Heat.
Nice. Yeah, my low is, what are you doing to my Outrunners, TK?
Yeah.
Sadness. And the high was just one single line. Wart on my bumhole. That shit made me laugh.
That was pretty good. You know what? I'll piggyback off of Dave, but for a different reason. My low is that Midnight Heat didn't pin Moxley. Like, send him to the moon, Tony. Come on. And my high, I just give it to the main event. It was just great. It was really fun. I was glad I watched it.
Yeah. Good episode. Looking forward to Dynamite.
Dynamity.
Looks like we're gonna get that Tony Storm film, Wet Ink.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. That was pretty big. I bet it's gonna be something to do with the tattoo.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's gonna get it covered.
Maybe. It is kind of a lot to say, oh, a wrestler should get a tattoo for an angle, because that is something permanent on their body, but think of the heat, pal.
Yeah. We're gonna get the Young Bucks versus Top Flight.
Who?
No.
Who?
No.
I've never heard of that tag team before. I know that
Call
the
them by their God-given passport names.
I know that the AEW EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, are taking on
Oh.
Top Flight. I don't know who these young bucks are.
Yeah, they're not that young anymore.
Mm-mm.
The Bucks of Youth.
Yep.
Old bucks.
Willow Nightingale versus Sky Blue, Adam Copeland versus Daniel Garcia, and we're gonna hear from Hangman, Swerve, and Joe. That should be interesting. Yeah. Ooh, cool. Yeah, I
Those
like that.
three can
Like,
probably go for the full hour. Sorry to bug you. And I'd probably
yeah,
watch the whole thing.
yeah. I like the different feels that Collision and Dynamite have. Like, they're definitely got a different vibe. Yeah, I'm loving the like Collision definitely has that old school uh loose cannon feel to me. Uh Not that Dynamite doesn't have that, but yeah. Dynamite to me feels more sports entertainer-y.
I think
Nothing wrong with that.
that's why I prefer Dynamite, because being raised as a WWE kid, of course, I prefer sports entertainment. I like it when it's a healthy mix, which I think Dynamite and AEW pay-per-views tend to have a nice healthy mix of that. It's not like I don't like Collision. Collision's still great. I wish there was a little bit more. I'm not even saying like Dynamite levels of sports entertainment. I just kind of wish there was like a little bit more variety. I wish there was less squash matches too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Any big news other than Okada pretty much confirmed AEW? Not really a whole lot going on.
No, again, like surprisingly, with all the Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns nonsense, it has kind of been quiet since our Dynamite coverage. Not a whole
Yeah.
lot. It was a good.
The press conference was all right, but really just kind of more of the same.
Yeah, it was just setting up the big angle at the end. What was I going to talk about? I don't know. Super Bowl happened. That's all sports entertainment. Like, come on.
You had something earlier that you brought up you wanted to get to. Was it?
It's all fake. I watched the Super Bowl with my roommates, and I was literally telling them, like, okay, here's how it's going to go. They're going to tie up the score right before. They're going to go into OT, and then Kelsey's going to get the winning touchdown, and they'll propose to Taylor Swift. And I was close, because at 3 seconds left for the touchdown, that's WWE. Like, I don't believe that.
50-50 booking.
Exactly. And they were hyping it up like, with the Royal Rumble this year, they're like, no one's done 2 Royal Rumbles back to back since Stone Cold Steve Austin. They did the same thing of no one's done 2 Super Bowls back to back since the Patriots. So this is just politicking, booking, but it was still fun to watch. That Mahomes kid, he's going places, let me tell you.
Yeah. I caught the last little bit of it. I was at work, but yeah, I got really you know, sucked into it the last half an hour when they tied it up. I was like, oh man, like I didn't care about it before at all, but now I kind of do. Technically, the Chiefs are from my home state, so uh, they get it. They get my vote. But yeah, Super Bowl happened. Uh, or I don't know if we can legally call it that. We have to call it the big game.
The big game. That is true. They might come for us. So
The big business.
Big business in Boston, baby. Okay. Is Okada going to come before that, or is he going to come in big business? Because I think he should come before.
I don't think he should step on Mercedes Thunder. I don't think he should be debuting there.
Yeah.
Because at least, like, because I was kind of going in watching this show, like, okay, Okada's definitely going to AEW. There's no doubt in my mind anymore. I was looking at that graphic. I was like, that's all Mercedes Moné. That is not one shred of, like, there's like dollar bills around, or like there's a little bit of gold somewhere, which I'm no professional on Okada's gimmick, but that's what I can tell is like a part of it. There's nothing like that. So this is all Mercedes Moné, and it should all be Mercedes Moné. Because if you want this to be as big of a signing as they want it to be, it should all be about her.
Yeah, no, and I mean, with all the heat they get for their women's booking, like that'd just be another more ammunition to people. Like, okay, now you're treading on Mercedes Moné's big night. Like, yeah, no, it needs to just be her night.
He needs to debut to. Okay, so Danielson loses to Kingston, but hits Kingston with a chair or something and gets him in the label lock and won't let go. Whose music hits?
Mr. Okada, they set up that third match. Maybe.
Yeah. I think he saves Kingston, and
yeah, that's as good as any.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. Looking forward to Revolution. Should be pretty darn fun. I mean, not only like Sting retiring, but they've thrown in some really good stuff there too to sprinkle in with it. So
yeah, I think this is probably the best lead up to a pay-per-view I've seen yet.
And we're still supposed to get Ospreay at some point, so I'll be harping on that till the pay-per-view is done, because I kind of
now that he's had his last match, I'm sure he'll be there and he'll probably have some sort of promo, bruv.
Listen, Jericho, bruv, you just lost to Takeshita. Let me beat you again too.
Oh, maybe he'll call Takeshita out.
I don't want to see Takeshita lose. I want to see that match, but come on.
Yeah.
That'd be an amazing match, though.
Yeah.
They would.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think that just about covers it for today. Nothing, no really good news circulating. Yeah, everyone out there, don't forget to like and comment. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. It looks like 80% of our viewers are not subscribed. Help us turn that around.
One thing to note before Dave concludes here, they did announce on Collision that due to like the NPA finals or whatever, there will be no Collision next week. So of course there will be no Collision review, but stay tuned. We got something else planned. So that's all we're gonna say.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to that.
You might have to wait the whole effing show.
No.
It has nothing to do with Rob Van Dam, but I just had to go,
Awkward.
Cool. Well, yeah. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Chandler. Another good episode. Having a lot of fun doing this. Making my wrestle brain think.
It felt good today. It did.
It did. But yeah, again, everyone out there, subscribe, like, comment, and catch us on the next video. Thank you very much. Bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.